Good afternoon, everybody. It's March 2nd, 2021, and today we're going to go over tools that are necessary to keep that bike over there, and this bike right here in good running condition. So, probably one of the most important tools is a torque wrench. Can you guys see it? With all the bits and everything. The torque wrench really prevents you from over tightening any bolt. And if you notice on your stem, on your seat post, on a lot of spots on the pressure points of the bike, they have its NM. It tells you newton meters, and that's how much pressure you can actually put on that point of the bike. If you go over those newton meters, what's going to end up happening is you're going to compress or crush or make it imperfect. It's especially important on a carbon fiber bike. On an alloy bike with a carbon fork, really important. Not quite as important on steel. So that, in my opinion, is the most important tool you should have. Now everything else is just everything you're going to come across. Chain whips. What else is in here? Uh, all my cutting tools, all my part cutting tools for cables, ends. Um, this here is a bag of cone wrenches. If you have the right cone wrench, you could literally fix anything on a bicycle. About the only tool I don't have is a truing stand. And that's because truing, I think, is an art form, not something most people can do. I think over time I could do it, but like for example today, this front wheel was way out of true. Hit a pothole and boy, oh, brakes rubbing too. Hit a pothole and boy, was it horrible. But I got it chewed up and now it rolls perfectly. Um, the tools to take off lock rings, I have the tools for that. I basically have every tool. A necessary group of tools, and maybe not tools, are cleaning supplies. Have enough brushes and stuff to get all the gunk out of your wheels, out of your chain sets, out of the nooks and crannies of a bike. This bicycle here, the Salsa Journeyman, you guys all know it's one of my favorite bikes. But look at this chain. It's perfectly clean. The bike has mud spots on it, but everything runs smooth because I keep that chain clean. I keep the drivetrain clean, and I re-lube it. Now, I'm a big fan of WD-40 for degreasing, but WD-40 also makes a bike lube. I know a lot of people don't like WD-40. They want to spend a ton of money on other lubricants. For me, WD-40's worked a lot. And on GCN, Cy Richardson, he loves WD-40, and that's where I got it from. I got it from the GCN videos, and he degreases with WD-40, and then he re-lubes with a bike lube WD-40. It's inexpensive. You can find it anywhere. So I like it a lot. Something else you might guys want to consider is a scale to balance how, or to see the angle of your saddle. I traditionally run my saddles horizontal to the top tube or horizontal to the ground. I don't like my tip of my saddle up or too far down. I just want it nice and level to the ground. And what that affords me is the ability to slide forward and backwards on the saddle, and without you feeling like you're holding yourself up with your legs. When you're positioned properly on a saddle, you don't move at all. You're only moving for sprints, you're only moving to get down deep on the drops. Other than that, you're always trying to find your sit bone. And once you find your sit bone on your particular body and your sit bone on the saddle, oh gosh, you could spin and spin forever without getting any of your privates, you know, irritated. So that's kind of how my setup is. I have quite a few tools. I have an extra toolbox down here that has a lot of little supplies, tire levers, nuts, bolts, um, wrenches. Everything's metric. I don't think I have anything standard. I also have a set of Allen keys that have a T-handle on them, which makes it really nice. But keep in mind, if you've got to torque something down, don't over tighten it with a traditional Allen key. Um, and a lot of these bolts now are torque or stars. So you have to have all the right pieces. I remember picking up my Scott scale that I sold last summer, and I couldn't figure out the saddle, the bolt on the saddle. It was just a torque. It was a different torque bit on it. But when I opened up my torque wrench set, it had all the bits in it. So that's kind of how I have my stuff set up. You guys all know about my sister's setup. She's got like a true mechanic setup. She does all her work on a motorcycle. I know, Jason, you always ask about this Yamaha. Well, I keep telling you, it's on my bike. It's my sister's. And you guys all know I'm not really into motorcycles. I'm into bicycles and scooters. And that's what I like. And my old truck. But other than that, guys, if you guys have any questions, I know I went over it pretty quickly. Oh, gotta have a pump. Gotta have a pump. I was using an electric pump. What I found is it just wasn't that accurate. I was almost 3 or 4 pounds over or under pressure. And like I've talked to you about in a previous video, you know, the tire pressure is basically what the tire wall says. But for example, if you go tubeless, the tire pressure could come down. As you lose weight, that tire pressure could come down. The wider the tire patch, the better grip you're going to have on the ground, guys. And that's not saying have a fat tire and you're going to be super fast. No, you just want the appropriate tire for the appropriate bike. You know, I got 700C, and last summer I started experimenting with 650B. And you guys all know how I love 650B. It's the volume of the tire. If I took this out on a road ride with a bunch of fast guys, like those knuckleheads from InCycle, you know, they're going to kick my ass. But if I take one of my road bikes with a 700C, maybe 25 millimeter wide, I'm going to keep up with them. And it's all because of the volume, how tall the tires, and really, like I always tell you guys, it's all about your legs. If you can push kilometers and you can stay consistent, you're gonna have fun out there. It's when you spend too much money on a bike and you're really not fit, you're wasting your money, guys. So anyways, guys, that's enough. If you guys have any questions on some of the tools, I'm learning slowly how to become a bike mechanic, because that front wheel cost me $30 to get trued, you know, and I've had a truing stand I could have done it myself. Talk to y'all soon.